Hi, my name's John, and I'm one of the web guys. I'd like to tell you about our amazing product that I'm certain you'll love. There are lots of companies out there who offer website and business tools, from the very cheap do-it-yourself to the very expensive bespoke products. What we offer at the Web Guys is a unique package that we're sure will cater to all your business's needs. We'll deliver a world-class website that's created specifically for you and your business and with everything you need to manage it. It's so simple. All you have to do is choose a look and we'll do everything else. We'll design, build, set up and customize your website for you. You'll get that agency quality product from £29.99 a month and with no upfront fees to pay. To take advantage of our fantastic product, go to www.thewebguys.co.uk and simply click the Sign Up Now button and follow the instructions, which will only take a few minutes of your valuable time. Once you're done, you'll get all this plus lots more, and from only £29.99 per month. So, what are you waiting for?
Morning, everyone. Once again, Wednesday morning, 10 o'clock, and we're live. Oh, God. You couldn't have that better. So, with that little ringtone there, it's my pleasure to welcome Ben Wright from I Want Fish and Chips to everyone. Thank you for joining me, Ben.
Thank you for having me.
Tell the world who you are and what you do and all that kind of stuff.
So my name's Ben, and I run a company called I Want Fish and Chips, and we specialise in digital marketing, but especially we do social media management for businesses. We do sort of focus within the franchise sector, so there's two of us in the team, husband and wife. It makes for fun running the business, but then also just general fun normally. So short and sweet introduction.
I think we can just see it.
Just see it,
doing. And probably no secret, but she's probably the one doing all the hard work, isn't she? So
I won't lay credit to it.
No, can't let her hear that. So we're going to talk a little bit about social media, website, how the two things hangs together, how it should hang together, and I suppose we can talk a little bit about different social media channels as well. This, as always, is not scripted, so if anyone's watching, if they have any questions, we're gonna chance it and just ask them, and we'll do our very hardest to try and answer them if we do have questions coming in. I will sort of say that if we don't know it, if we don't know the answer, then we will make a commitment that we'll get back to all of you with an answer after. We will research and find out if we can't help you out here and now. So with that, right. Websites and social media. It's a big topic, really.
Yeah. It's. I think like the main thing is making sure that they go hand in hand, and that it's from a brand point of view. You've got those touch points that whether it's a Facebook, just an organic post, whether it's an advert story, but then when they go on the website, they're getting that same feel and having that. I think sort of traditionally in the past, people saw them as separate things that would have that kind of focus on, but once you can marry them together, they can be a lot more powerful tool for your marketing efforts. And then having the blog content or even the general content on the website, but using, say, the blog content, for example, and then using that for breaking it down to a number of posts, or using it then, let's say, articles on LinkedIn as well. So then I think the biggest thing is a big topic, but it's making sure that it's joined up in its approach that way.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you're saying that they should be married together, which I completely agree with. I think the reality is there's a big discrepancy in the amount of effort and time people are actually spending on the different platforms. I think people have a tendency to get stuck in the social medias, in the particular platform that they enjoy the most, and sort of forget the fact that it's great to enjoy it, but that's not really the point. We're trying to make it work and make it work best, and and spending most time in one place might not be the best thing to do. I fall foul of that, I think, at the moment, where I spend probably too much time on this Clubhouse thing. I know Ben is new to the Clubhouse world. I'm very proud to say that I have coerced Ben. He's been an Android user for as long as I've known him, and he now actually has an iPhone in his house, which is groundbreaking.
It's not the most modern one. We didn't have to queue for it, but we'll I'll be getting on there and then seeing what it's about. Like I say, from the rave reviews that you've got from it, one from the value you've got from the content perspective, but also then the business opportunities that have come from it. It makes sense to you. But like I said, I think just go back to what you kind of said earlier about focusing on one channel, whether it's on the social side because it's slightly more fun. But from a business point of view, it's making sure that you invest that time in your website, you invest time in certain channels on social media, depending on where sort of you'll generate either the business from or your target market is. But it's massively important to have those multiple channels, because then we've kind of seen a couple of bits recently where, say, people have contacted us and asked them to help with their Facebook ad account, for example, because they've run a certain advert, it's gone against Facebook policies, and then they've had their advert account shut down and they can't do anything with it. So then that means that you've lost one line of revenue, or you've lost one way of targeting your audience. And if, like you kind of said, if people just focus on that one particular place and it goes, you've then got to start from scratch, from either a new channel or whether it's them developing. So again, looping back to what we were saying before, of making sure everything's married together. If you're doing posts and then you're getting email signups for it, it all then coming back to having that data that you've got that you can control as a business, as opposed to, like I say, that a couple of ones that happened. One, you could see why that the potential reason why the ad account got banned, but one of them there was no reason whatsoever. There was no products that sort of went against the policies or anything like that, and it was just then gone, and it's just then they're sat in limbo now that they can't do anything.
It's one of the biggest things. It leaves you massively vulnerable because you have no power over these platforms. They can basically do with you what they want to do at any given time, which is, as a business owner, is really not a great place to be. I understand that some of these channels, are making people lots of money and generating lots of leads from it. But what happens if it closes down? That's the main thing. I know I'm biased, but there's only one person who can close down your website, and that's yourself.
Yeah.
That you have control over that. So as far as I'm concerned, that should be the base of all your activity, should come from there and then spread out from there. So I suppose it's one of them things, isn't it, where it's so easy to get seduced into this whole social media world where you get instant gratification when people like your stuff and make comments and sharing it and all that stuff. It's very easy to get trapped into that, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Especially, like I say, if then that's the metric that you're using for it. But like I say, when a lot of things with marketing and that, it's that repetition, rehearsal, and consistency. So then, if you are being consistent and showing content that's adding value, that's providing that value to that potential client or even your current clients, it's then reaffirming who you are and what you do, but putting you then as an expert in your field to then attract them potential clients. But as much as it kind of seems like the kind of boring side, I suppose, of that, but you'll see that all the big brands just have consistent campaigns going, because then that what you're going to see, that it's McDonald's or it's Coca-Cola or whoever it is. Not everybody's got those kind of like budgets that you can go with, but there's still, particularly in today's sort of digital world, there's more platforms you have access to, whereas in the past it was very cost prohibitive. If you had a big budget, you could look at TV advertising. If then sort of your budget came down a bit, you would then have radio advertising. Then you've got, say, press or in that line. Whereas now, the bulk of stuff is, there's no barriers to entry. You just need an email address and you're pretty much away. but then it's then targeting those messages or what that campaign is. You've got more opportunity, so you can appear like the big brands because you're on that same platform channel. Same with the website. It's then you can have that appearance and have the access to the same channels that all the other brands do.
There's no doubt that if you do it right, it does present you with an opportunity to have a sort of a level playing field. It'll never be a level playing field because the platforms will always favor the one who pays the most. That's just pure commerce. But at least it gives you an opportunity to be there and to play the game, and then it's just about getting it right, isn't it? And as always, as it is, I think it's always been in business about being at the right place at the right time as well. But you got to put yourself there. You have to be there. What sort of strikes me a lot is that I still come across a lot, and it's still a big thing, is that people are quite happy to spend all this time on these social media channels. And the vast majority of people have websites, and they have absolutely no idea about the connection between the two. So we spend lots of time on LinkedIn, but how much of that stuff that we stick on LinkedIn actually then goes on to have a deep look at us on our website? There's not many people who actually knows that matrix, and that surprises me, because it starts a simple thing to connect your analytics to your website, so you can actually see, well, I'm spending 6 hours a day on LinkedIn. Does that actually mean that people go and have a look at me on my website? It surprises and shocks me a lot that people don't do that. People just seem interested.
Yeah, it's like the many discussions before of then it's each, whether it's a website, whether it's a LinkedIn profile, personal or company, Facebook, they're marketing channels. So then from that marketing, and again, it comes back to, I sound like a dinosaur, but in today's modern world, you have more metrics to look at and be able to have that ability to track stuff of where then, again, in the past, if you had an imprint advert, you would then judge it on the number of inquiries that have come from that, either specific offer that you've put within there, or if you had like a unique telephone number in that kind of way. Whereas like now you can then see, well, X amount of eyeballs have been reached through one particular channel, and then looking at then the website, you can then see that of those X amount of people, 200 click through. So you know that from LinkedIn, you've got that process from there, same from Facebook. But you, like say, you can see the data you've got available today is a lot more than what we've ever had before. And it's only going to get even more sophisticated as we sort of move on.
So there's no excuse, really, isn't it? There really isn't. And
they're free as well. They're free tools as well. So it's not,
isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely. All those tools that Google gives you is free. It doesn't cost anything. So I suppose a lot of it is down to people like us, Ben, to make sure that the education and the messages gets put out there, that it is available and it is free to use. And we're certainly spending a lot of time showing people how to use them and how to analyze them. Just last week, I had 2 Zoom sessions with clients, just showing them how to use the analytics, because I feel it's that important that I'm willing to show anyone. So to anyone watching this, either now or later, if you want me to show you how to utilize analytics, just come and ask. And I'm sure you're the same, Ben, because it's not an important thing.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's that thing of where, again, kind of in the past, like especially with sort of within say the website world or anything like that, I've always like kind of likened it to sometimes like the traditional like car mechanic, because then you take it in, it needs fixing, and then they look under the bonnet and the kind of mechanic goes, well, it's going to be, and you need to get it done, but at the same time you don't know what it generally is going to cost you a lot more than what you kind of think it's going to cost. But the kind of biggest, like my frustration within the sort of digital marketing world was that of when people were either charging extortionate amounts for doing something which was very simple, and like I say, it's then, we're always happy to have a chat with people, because if you can help, that's the main thing. And then especially like from a business owner to a business owner, it's everybody's out to want to make money because that's why you're in business, but at the same time, it's then supporting and having that kind of value that you're going to give. And it sticks with people because then, like I say, of helping and taking, it's a small part out of your day just to help somebody.
Absolutely. and it can potentially make such a difference. It's massive. So it's just one question that sort of popped in my head, because obviously we're talking about all this kind of stuff, and one of the things that I get asked a lot, because I keep telling people that they need to post content on their blog. I'm a broken record. So how often, from your point of view, does people need to post a blog? And does it have to be written or video? What's the best? How often does this need to happen?
It varies on like each sort of industry, because it's then what you're going to talk about and how you're going to talk about it. But like I say, I think a mixture of, like I say, I know from kind of our discussions of now having a mixture of the written format and the video format in one. So then you're providing lots of media for that person to consume that information. It's only going to be better, because then some people are auditory, some people, just a visual. So that's how they want to have that content. But I think, like I say, it's banging that drum of making sure that even if you just get started and do it, but make sure you're consistent at it, whether it's once a month, whether it's once a week, because again, it's time permitting. So that's why we exist, because it's then people want that time to focus on other areas of the business, so we can then fill that gap to help them. Because then if it's then going to take them, say, a day to think about a title or something that they want to write about, then it's going to take a day, 2 days to write it. Then inevitably, like most people will critique themselves and to the nth degree, so then they won't do it, and then they'll have it there and then not post it. So then it's just a case of, it was our business coach is sort of done is better than perfect. So then making sure you get going and do it, and if then you can then refine it as you go along and get it better. But like you say, so making sure you're doing it, and once you've kind of got that blog title or that blog, if then you do it in a simple form of like 7 tips for this, or in that way, you've then fed probably 10 social media posts, because you can break each tip down. You can then do one. You've then got an article for LinkedIn. You've got lots of things from it. So that one initial action has then set off
a whole bunch of things
more.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I, again, sounding like a broken record, is that everyone has one of these days.
Yeah.
And I would almost bet my house that 90% of people has one of these also has the YouTube app on their phones already. Certainly the ones who has Android, it comes built in, doesn't it? So, it takes, I think, a time that it took me 2 minutes and 16 seconds to create my YouTube channel. And then you just log in your app on your phone. And then all you then need to do is turn it on. Turn the app on, start recording, say something for 90 seconds, and there you go. You got some content. And you can use it straight away. It's accessible, it's editable, and you can just use it straight away. So spending 5 minutes, maybe once every week, once every 2 weeks, it's really not that hard, is it? If we're honest.
No, it's making sure you dedicate the time to it, but then also you can use different things. So there's a piece of software called Trint, and Capwing I think does it as well.
Right.
So even if you do then record that video, you can then have it subtitled, or then it draws the text off it. So then you could just do it as the video initially, and then take that audio into then text.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's a fantastic tip. So that actually turns the video, it transcribes it into text content.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. What a great thing that is. You need to create an article about that, Ben, because I think that's going to be a big thing for a lot of people. Sounds
and quite a few. A guy I follow that talks a lot about with time management. So the way he does it is that he records it through, either does like a Facebook Live or a YouTube video, and then he'll strip that so it transcribes it, and then he's got some written content, whether that's for an email campaign or something else.
Right.
But then what he also does is then, because it's just him that's on the video when he's talking, he'll then extract the audio and then use it as a podcast.
Right.
So again, like I say, I suppose it's then just that thinking of you do one thing, but how that one thing can actually then snowball into lots of other things.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's a great tip. That is, and again, it only just shows that, with a little bit of effort, you actually end up with a substantial amount of content that you can use across a lot of different platforms.
Yeah,
it means it's extremely versatile, isn't it?
Yeah. So how have you seen websites change over the last, say, like 5 years of?
That's a very good question. I think the websites themselves has changed a lot. I think that the biggest change came with the responsiveness that that we had to go through because of all these different screen sizes, especially with mobiles and tablets. To go alongside that, they have become much simpler for the layman to admin. They are so much easier to use. Back in the days, not going back that many years, if you wanted to make changes to a page, you would have to contact a skilled person to make changes to a simple page. Where now you can more or less operate and manage all aspects of the website yourself without needing much hand-holding. We find generally if we train people for an hour, then they are fully able to completely operate and manage the sites themselves. I think that's the biggest change, that the technology is so much easier now to actually use. That doesn't mean that people do it. That's the flip side. We are seeing people getting better at actually using them, but I think that's more down to us keep telling them to, training them how to, and telling them how important it is. But we are still seeing a huge amount of people not spending the right amount of time on their website compared to the social media. I think that'll change though, because I think as time goes, I think the two mediums will melt together more. I think going on another 5 years, I think the lines between social media and your sort of website, I think that's going to melt together a little bit. So that it becomes more of a one thing.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Like I said, the biggest thing, again, that you can I think what sort of the digital platforms have done is made it low barriers to entry of then either, let's say, from a website point of view and a social media point of view, of where when I was working at a company, but you could only get access to those products if you were a paying client or you had to come to them to get the access. Whereas then anybody can go, whether it's a florist or whether it's a international brand, they can all still access the same thing. But and then, like I say, the website, then if you're then beholden to a developer, whether it's like their own content management system or however it's going to structured in that way. Whereas now, there'll always be that need for it, because then there's something that you can do that the general sort of businessman or person, woman, whoever wouldn't be able to execute.
Oh, yeah.
But it's then, like I say, but then, and I go back to your last point of then that it'd be interesting to see how it merges together, of whether then, I don't know. It would just be interesting to see what.
It will be interesting, and I think you're touching on a super important point there. I think because I think before, you're going back 5, maybe 10 years, people were really sort of held to ransom because they had no idea and they really could not do anything with it. So they had to have someone skilled to help them out with any aspects of their website. That is much less today. We are unfortunately still seeing some companies holding their clients to ransom type stuff, but it's a lot less now. It's a lot less predominant now than what it was just 5 years ago. So that's a very positive move. So I think I know you're yet to experience it, but I think a place like Clubhouse, I actually don't think Clubhouse will survive long term. I think what Clubhouse is showing us is that first step in merging medias, because I think a lot of people right now are seeing Clubhouse as a medium that sort of replaces podcasts, and it also replaces radio. So I don't listen to radio anymore. I used to all the time, but Clubhouse now sits in the background And it's a wonderful thing, because if I'm listening to a topic, people discussing a topic I'm interested in, it actually gives me the ability to sort of pipe up and chip in and my 2 cents. And you can't do that with radio unless you phone in or whatever type of thing. So it's a lot more immersive. So I think it from that point of view, that it's a very interesting platform, because it's starting to see those different kinds of media as merging together in one place.
Yeah, but also, like I say as well, it's then having that, you as the listener, or on that side, you've got then the opportunity to pitch in or to say something in that way, because then, again, like I say, stereotypically in the past, it's all it's a one-way channel. Yes. So whether it's then, again, like I said before, like with TV or radio, there is a bit of an option, but you couldn't do it live, or you couldn't do it in the moment. Whereas in, like say, like now, even on other social channels, they can then, you as a business can interact with your client on a one-on-one, on a personal level. But then, like I say, at the same time, like with Clubhouse, when I get on it and start listening, but then it's like I say, then you can then, give your opinion on something, or
really engage with this, and it gives you a really good opportunity to engage, or sit back and not, and so I find it really interesting from that point of view. So it's going to be great to hear what you think about. Listen, babe, Ben, we can natter on for hours. We've been going on for 26 minutes now, which is great. It's great. I don't put a time limit on these, but I think it is time to perhaps wrap it up. I just want to thank you for coming on here today with me and having this chat. I think one thing I would say is that once Ben gets himself on Clubhouse and has an opinion on it, we might do another one of these. Where we will discuss perhaps just Clubhouse itself and give people who are less familiar an opportunity to come and hear our opinion and perhaps ask us questions about it. I've put forward to Ben that once he gets himself on there and a bit familiar with it, that we should start a room together where we discuss websites and social media and give people an opportunity to go in and talk to us there. So watch this space. Hopefully there'll be more from us soon. Thank you for joining me, Ben.
Thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been
good. It's for everyone out there. If you like this stuff, please like and share it out. It's live it's available on Facebook and our YouTube channel. Next week we'll be on again at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. I got Ian Genius joining me. Join that one, because everyone who doesn't know Ian, he will blow your mind. He truly is a genius when it comes to sales and math, and I think you've had the pleasure, Ben, haven't you?
Yeah. Particularly from a maths point of view, it's quite interesting. Then the relationship with sales is very, very good.
Yeah. So he's gonna join me next Wednesday, and hopefully there'll be some interesting conversation. Yeah. And he used to be bearded like you and me, so he's clean shaven. Yeah. I was going to say another chat between two bearded men, but that's not going to be the case.
Is it in between beards? Then I think it's the right way to say it's in between beards.
That's probably right. Yeah. So again, thank you, Ben. Thank you, everyone who's watched and listened, and have a great week out there, everyone. And I shall see you all again next week.
Cheers. Take care. Thanks, Ryan.